He's the most famous musical legend you may never have heard of. The protege of folk singer Woody Guthrie, mentor to young Bob Dylan. So whatever happened to Ramblin' Jack Elliott? Well, he just scored his second Grammy Award and still hits the road regularly to sing and sell records. Not a bad gig for a 78-year-old West Marin cowboy.
Got the blues from my baby, lay me by the San Francisco Bay. I'm a storyteller. It's almost as if I'm not hardly a musician at all.
Ramblin' Jack Elliott has been a troubadour of the American road for over 60 years.
Never come back to stay, been another brand new day. Walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. That's ice cold. I haven't sung in 3 months. Good morning, everybody.
He had triple bypass surgery last November, hip replacement surgery before that, but still found time in between to put out his latest album, A Stranger Here, which earned him his 5th Grammy nomination and 2nd win.
Death don't have no mercy in this land.
And he says he's itching to get out on the road again.
As soon as I get well, I'm going to want to ride horses. I like herding cattle on horseback.
Jack always wanted to be a cowboy, but his roots were far from the Wild West. He grew up on what he jokingly calls a 45,000-acre ranch called Brooklyn. He was born Elliott Charles Adnapose, the son of a doctor and school teacher.
My folks wanted me to be a doctor like Daddy.
But at age 15, he ran away to join a traveling rodeo. By the time his frantic parents tracked him down 3 months later, he had changed his name to Jack, learned to drop the G's from his words, like Ramblin', and he discovered a new love.
I found an old guitar and started practicing on that.
This land is your land, and this land is my land.
In 1950, Jack and his guitar hooked up with folk singer Woody Guthrie, becoming his sidekick for the next 4 years.
In the beginning, I patterned all my singing and picking after Woody. He was my mentor. The thing I loved about Woody so much was his matter-of-fact delivery. It was like some old truck driver telling a story about what happened to him, eyewitness. No fancy operatics, no fancy vocal tricks or pretty kind of thing.
People started calling him Ramblin' Jack, not because of his travels, but because he takes a lot of detours when he talks.
Now, I own 2 typewriters. I've never been able to write nothing. Maybe they're not the right typewriters. I saw Leslie Caron walking across the street in Paris once. I almost fainted. She walked right across the street and made it to the other side.
In 1955, Jack struck out on his own, sailing to Europe. He started passing the hat on the streets of London and Paris and quickly gained fame as a genuine American folk artist. One day, on a London train platform, he took out his guitar for a group of schoolboys.
And I played them a bunch of cowboy songs. And about 15 years later, I met Mick Jagger, and he told me that he was one of those kids, and he went right out and bought himself a guitar the next day.
Dancing up and down like a bullfrog.
Returning to New York in 1961, Jack visited a dying Woody Guthrie in the hospital, where he met another visitor, a young fan named Robert Zimmerman.
And he kind of very shyly told me that he liked my music and talked about it quite a bit.
Zimmerman played guitar, and Jack took him under his wing, helping him develop his style. And like Jack, he too changed his name to Bob Dylan.
I'll never see a friend I know. He was 19 years old, his voice was still changing. And a lot of people were complaining about the sound of his voice, but I admired his talent so much that it didn't bother me a bit.
say hello to my good buddy, Ramblin' Jack Elliott.
I got 3 women waiting on a Saturday night.
During the folk craze of the 1960s, Ramblin' Jack got a lot of attention, but never made it really big, as other styles like rock and roll became more popular.
Had a lot of success with it in a small kind of way. I don't know, I've never been very competitive. I suppose if there had been a lot of competition, I might have ended up driving a truck.
Over the years, he and his guitar kept moving through 4 marriages, problems with addiction. But he never stopped strumming America's stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ramblin' Jack Elliott.
In 1998, Jack was awarded the National Medal of Arts, and his recent Grammy shows that there's still a place in music for the man who rambles.
I turned around, I was in the front seat there riding shotgun, guys driving, it's his car. Painted it with a brush. I said, "Hey Frank, what was that song you sang last night? It was raining." And he said, "The South Coast." Yeah.